the so-called sisterhood between Yandy Smith and Rasheeda Frost. Baby was faker than a BBL in the discount section of Instagram surgery ads, and guess who just snatched the curtains wide open? The unfiltered queen of chaos herself, Tasha K. Now, ask yourself why Rasheeda, who sobbed on national television over Kirk's motel slip-ups and secret side babies, would turn around and disparage him. So grab your wigs, pour the tea, and secure your edges. Oh honey, we have leaked texts, explosive receipts, and sources claiming that this betrayal goes deeper than Rasheeda's tolerance for Kirk's lies. Yes, we are naming names, exposing games, and dragging egos one wig tug at a time. The only woman who stood by her when the world was dragging her lace front through the dirt. What really happened behind the scenes of love and hip-hop? We're not even friends. Like that moment after years of sisterhood, hot tub scandals, and baby mama cleanups. We're going to delve into a story that is more twisted than Kirk Frost's excuses, and more theatrical than a love and hip-hop reunion hug. It's time to examine the breakdown of a friendship that, let's face it, may never have existed in the first place. To start, we're talking about none other than Rasheeda Boss Chick Frost and Yandy Every Woman Smith, two women who were once glued together tighter than Rasheeda's high ponytail in Atlanta. Humidity, but behind those glitzy photos, sisterhood speeches, and giggles, there was a backstage betrayal so shady that even Mona Scott would say, "Wait, what happened?" Tasha K is the internet's messiest truth teller, your favorite blogger's worst nightmare. And the one woman who doesn't knock before, barging into the receipts room. When she came out with the tea, baby, she poured it boiling without any sugar or creamer. Was a straight scandal. Let's go back a bit to see it season after season. When Kirk was caught cheating again, we saw that he had Rasheeda's back, not Candy, Carly, or even Erica. While Kirk was out here living like he was on tour with Future, Rasheeda was the one clearing up her emotional mess. Defending her, comforting her, and, let's be honest, sometimes making Rasheeda look less foolish on camera. However, fast forward to this recent season of Love and Hip Hop, and all of a sudden, Rasheeda is out there talking as though he isn't even her friend. Girl? Well, it's not just that we drifted apart or that we misunderstood each other. Rasheeda flatly stated that she didn't want to be friends with anyone because it's attractive to them. Excuse me, are we referring to Rasheeda or your own reflection, ma'am? Let's be honest, not everyone likes her. Some people think she's too polished, while others think she's too cunning. But there's no denying that she rides for her circle when Kirk was out here embarrassing Rasheeda as if it were his full-time job. When rumors circulated about Kirk's mystery baby mama, the hot tub situation, the secret apartments, and oops, I cheated again on Yandy, the person who was defending her never once threw shade. How does Rasheeda repay her? She sits pretty in confessional interviews with Kendra Robinson, that courtroom slick clone of Rasheeda herself, and throws subtle shade like, "Oh, we're not really friends, baby." If shady were a sport, Rasheeda would be an Olympic gold medal. Tasha K abruptly entered the conversation like a courtroom mic-dropper and revealed the receipts underlying the betrayal. According to Tasha, the whole "we're not friends" line wasn't an accident. Rather, it was a planned PR blunder to keep Rasheeda away from Andy before more about Mendez could surface. Hold on, we'll get to that messy part later, but let's concentrate on for now. Why would Rasheeda, the woman who built a brand on maintaining a classy press boutique, suddenly take Kirk aside to disparage the one woman who supported her through all of that humiliation? According to anonymous sources and inbox leaks from Tasha K, Rasheeda never felt comfortable in the spotlight with Yandy. She allegedly thought that Yandy was too polished and brand safe, essentially saying that she was fake. The irony here is that Rasheeda has been pretending to have a perfect marriage for television for the past 10 years, while Kirk is out here doing numerous live auditions. As if that weren't enough, recall that crazy flashback with Jessica Dime. Oh, let's go back in time to when Rasheeda had a heated moment with a girl named Pressure P. It's possibly one of Kirk's alleged situationships. Rasheeda always had a bit of jealousy towards Yandy. She felt like producers gave Yandy more screen time, and even though Yandy wasn't from Atlanta, got treated like a queen on the franchise. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was stuck doing damage control for Kirk every season. Always gets up and leaves the scene. But guess who stayed and actually put hands on someone to defend Rasheeda's honor? Jessica Dime. Yes, the same dime piece who risked everything, including her career and brand, to defend Rasheeda's messy marriage. Now that Yandy is in that same position, the friend who stood by you and showed you loyalty was thrown out like last season's press fashion line. Additionally, remember that even when everyone was dragging Kirk for dirt, she never made a joke about it. Nothing like Kirk's earrings, his side babies, or his midnight jacuzzi parties with strangers. But when Mendy Saz was seen in a Snapchat scandal with a Latina woman wearing leopard pants, Rasheeda wasted no time in criticizing and questioning whether or not he and Yandy were even legally married. And here's the worst. Rasheeda's alleged shade session with Kendra didn't even come off as a casual slip. Instead, it looked like a full-on stage moment, as if they had been practicing it over brunch. D into Kendra's clone behavior and her own messy man jock in part 2 because, oh baby, she got nervous as she jumped in this conversation when her own man's direct message received more traffic than Peachtree Street. However, before we go there, let's take a moment to discuss the scene that really lit up the internet. Rasheeda's statement that she doesn't want to be friends with Chan Dandy because it's a good look for her. Blogs exploded, Twitter went into a frenzy, and guess what? Tasha K was ready. In her signature loud, she posted in an unrepentant manner saying, Rasheeda got a man who cheats on her yearly, financially controls everything in his name, and has the nerve to question another woman's loyalty. If you don't sit down and check your husband's Snapchat before shading Yandy, I swear to God. Okay. She even made a joke about Kirk and Mendy's switching reality shows because, at least, Mendy's has the common sense to keep his side activities private. However, people, this is just the beginning, as in part 1. We dissected how Rasheeda went from being Yandy's ride or die to I don't even know her like that very quickly. However, now that Rasheeda was busy offering criticism with a side of gaslighting, we enter the real chaos. Allegations of cheating, Kendra's messy hypocrisy, and a potential love triangle twist will make you reevaluate everything you thought you knew about friendship, loyalty, and just how fake reality TV can get. Miss Legal Eagle turned Rasheeda 2 was Kendra Robinson. We'll get back to her. But let's talk about the Snapchat scandal because this wasn't just gossip, was the alleged trigger. Kendra had no business getting involved in the mess between Yandy and Rasheeda. Sis, your own man, a little jock, is out there playing America's next top cheater. And you're worried about the friendship levels between two women you hardly even rock with. The reason for Rasheeda's abrupt turn against Yandy was that Mendy had spotted her longtime partner and husband. We'll get to the legal part of this in a moment. Mendy had been caught on camera posting a picture of a Latina woman wearing leopard print trousers on Snapchat, and no, it wasn't tagged as fashion goals or inspiration. Instead, the woman's assets were prominently displayed. And the caption seemed to be something ambiguous, like using a cunning emoji. The post quickly became a firestorm, said it was for a social media project Mendy Saz was working on, and she acknowledged it. The drama should have ended there, but instead, Rasheeda entered the stage and departed with a slick smile and a tone of casual. I don't even think they're legally married. Didn't she say something about forgetting to send the paperwork? Excuse me. So now we're attacking marriages because your man can't keep it zipped in hotel rooms. Let's face it, Rasheeda was never checking for Yandy's love life until hers began. It looked like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity gone wrong. And all of a sudden, the best way to divert attention away from Kirk's yearly cheating pilgrimage was to put Yandy and Mendy Saz under the bus. This is a classic reality show ploy. So let's talk about someone else's drama so mine doesn't look so bad. But Tasha K, baby, doesn't miss a thing. She dug deeper than a love and hip-hop reunion's phony apologies and returned with exclusive tea. Behind the scenes, they grinned for the cameras. But Rasheeda didn't like how Yandy would take over and take charge of situations, especially when it came to helping other women on the show. The same source also said that Rasheeda felt overshadowed during scenes with Yandy and that producers frequently preferred Yandy's tidy image over Rasheeda's constantly in damage control plot. Is this insecurity or jealousy, or are these two women just having ego conflicts? Either way, it wasn't true friendship, and the men's don't get me started. But let's talk about that notorious "I never mailed the marriage certificate" confession. Years ago, on camera, she acknowledged that they had a full wedding ceremony complete with vows, rings, cake, and everything. But she never filed the legal paperwork because, in her words, it was strategic, and she didn't want to be financially liable for Mendy's previous legal issues. This makes sense, especially when you're protecting your brand and raising children. But Rasheeda, who has literally built an empire on sticking by her cheating man no matter what, the hypocrisy is shining brightly under reunion lights. And speaking of Kendra, let's discuss why she had the audacity to co-sign anything Rasheeda said about loyalty, marriage, or friendships. This is the same Kendra who has been in a will, won't, and divorce saga with Little Jockey for what seems like 10 seasons. What made her decide to use that against her girl? You let Kirk Frost, who has multiple confirmed side babies, handle your finances, your brand, and your stores, and you're clowning Yandy for clever paperwork management. Kendra wants to question someone else's man, but that's the power of groupthink. If you sit someone next to a jerk long enough, they start to believe they're the main character. Kendra probably thought that supporting Rasheeda would make her look like a grown woman, but all it did was make her look like a glorified sidekick in a two-woman show. The man literally admitted on TV that he wasn't faithful. He showed up late to their wedding and flirted at his bachelor party. In a follow-up livestream, Tasha K revealed that Rasheeda had been disparaging her for years. This wasn't a random remark. Rather, it was jealousy bubbling up because of how tight her brand is and how her man doesn't embarrass her. The fans even began calling it out online with fake fan tweets, saying that Kendra was worried about Yandy's ring when Rasheeda still couldn't spell monogamy, girl. So Rasheeda believes that Yandy's marriage isn't real. Every season, this situation causes Rasheeda to feel uncomfortable. She even implied that there might be texts and direct messages between Rasheeda and other cast members making fun of her behind her back. If this is true, it's still unconfirmed. But if it's true, let's not forget that Rasheeda was there for Kendra when her marriage was failing like a fashion Nova Zipper when Juke was threatening to divorce. Atlanta edition is making her feel exhausted. But the thing that hurts the most about Olive is that, despite Rasheeda's continued defense of an infidelity-prone man as if it were his side gig, Rasheeda chose to remain silent, and that silence is louder than any insult she could throw. Rasheeda is raising a family, running businesses, handling scandals, and somehow remaining graceful, which is why Tasha K said what she did. Rasheeda outgrew them. Don't go anywhere because in part 3, we're going to dive into the potential fallout from all this. Drama? Think legal threats, producer beef, fake friendships collapsing. No. And the quiet whispers of a possible love and hip-hop shakeup. Trust me, when fake friendships fall apart, the empire follows. We've already been steeped in shade, scandal, and Snapchat secrets. But don't think the fallout stopped there, baby. No, this was just the beginning because after Tasha K flipped the table with her tell-all tea about Rasheeda and Yandy's love, and the hip-hop world began to fall apart like Kirk Frost's loyalty, let's talk about the backlash, which isn't limited to fans. According to sources, executive producers weren't happy with Rasheeda's abrupt on-camera remarks about Yandy's marriage being a fake because her storyline was still being developed. And this unexpected betrayal came off script. One insider allegedly told Tasha K that producers were upset because we're not just talking about friendships ending, though. We're also talking about possible production drama reshoots, emergency confessional interviews, and even a rumored sit-down between Mona Scott and the cast to realign the narrative. Yes, baby. When fake friends start playing producer contracts, start to shake. And guess what? It doesn't stop there. Let's talk about brand damage, because Yandy and Rasheeda aren't just reality stars. They're brands that sell image influence and Instagram partnerships. When Rasheeda made that overt remark on camera, she wasn't just casting doubt on a friendship. She was sowing doubts about Yandy's public image. However, Yandy's sister didn't even bat an eye, and she played it cool, like a woman who has been in the game long enough to know that real power doesn't panic. However, behind-the-scenes sources claim that Yandy's team took the incident very seriously. There are rumors that her PR team discreetly contacted VH1 asking control over how her marriage story unfolds. Especially when Mendy discovers that, despite all the circulating rumors, she hasn't been caught with even a text thread of proof, unlike Kirk, whose receipts could fill an entire storage unit. Meanwhile, Tasha K wasn't letting up, releasing another video asserting that Rasheeda's abrupt flip was all about deflection. Allegedly, a brand deal was in jeopardy. Over knew it was necessary to quickly divert the public's attention from the accusations of infidelity against Kirk and Rasheeda, and who better to do so than Yandy and her allegedly unofficial marriage? Now, that's shady, but let's move on to the real repercussions, which Rasheeda probably didn't anticipate. To begin, fans began harshly criticizing her via tweets that flooded timelines with messages like, "Yandy helped you fix your face every time Kirk embarrassed you, and this is how you repay her." Rasheeda had been silent about Kirk's 5-year affair, but now she was talking about her wedding certificate. The week the episode aired, fans began tagging Rasheeda's boutique with shady captions like, "I came for fashion, not betrayal, and do you sell loyalty here or not?" Even worse, there are rumors that one of her sponsorships temporarily halted their collaboration because of the tone, not the scandal itself. This isn't friendship drama. This is envy in a lace front. And when Twitter turns baby, the brands start backing up to precede. You were the safe brand girl until you started making sly on-camera remarks like a villain in training. Now, we're not saying that Rasheeda's entire empire is collapsing, but rather that this is the situation, and then he kinda handed it to you, saying, "Get our girl Kendra, sis." You tried to fill in as Rasheeda's backup singer, but you hit all the wrong notes, and fans called her out right away. Kendra, acting like her man isn't a jock, is the most scandal-prone cast member of all time. Why is Kendra co-signing anything when Juke had more children than Rasheeda had boutique racks? The memes were going viral. And one of the most popular tweets featured a picture of Yandy drinking tea with the caption, "Yandy watching Rasheeda and Kendra throw shade while her man isn't out here multiplying." Speaking of multiplying, let's talk about the legal tea that Tasha K alluded to. Her sources said that Yandy's legal team discreetly began recording social media posts and video footage in case this shade fest began impacting her business. That's correct. According to sources, there has been talk about drawing the line if the show or other cast members continue to falsely portray her relationship as fraudulent. And that's not all. There is also talk that a reunion confrontation is brewing, not just your typical "why did you say that?" moment and explosive one-on-one that could rival any of the Joe's line versus everybody exchanges. However, while Rasheeda was joking around about phony marriages, Yandy was possibly, if you want messy drama, that's great, but I'm not going to sit here and let people drag my name with no receipts either. We show proof or we shut it down, he told producers, reportedly feeling pressured to set boundaries after the recent wave of accusations, which included the Snap scandal and shady hotel rumors. Classics. Mona Scott loves drama, but even she is reportedly anxious about how far this betrayal might go on stage. Honestly, he's not wrong. But Kirk's stirred is well documented and published, as if it were on the New York Times bestseller list. Mendy hasn't been exposed to anything tangible. Is there smoke? Perhaps, but no fire? Not even a spark? So here we are, one friendship shattered, one reality show shaken, and a fandom divided. What began as a small remark in a confessional turned into a full-blown crisis of credibility. As Tasha K put it best, these women don't want friends, they want followers. And when the cameras turn off, so does the loyalty. In the world of reality television, loyalty is rented rather than owned. One season you may have sisters, and the next, your content. Sometimes the people cheering you on at the reunion are the same ones who sold you out in the confessional. What other reality TV shows are coming up after the break? Friendships are. Could this change result in a new cast member or even a spin-off? Should Yandy leave before the phony friendships destroy her for? Will Rasheeda ever stop avoiding Kirk's mess? Who do you think is the boss? Chick or Tasha K? Please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because this isn't the end of the drama. Baby, it's just the beginning. It's your turn now, because this wasn't just a reality TV mess, it was a full-blown betrayal breakdown. Tasha K revealed the receipts as if she was hosting court on YouTube Live. 1 minute you're watching your best friend's brunch, and the next day you're out here questioning marriages and consigning cheating husbands like it's a sport. Do you think Rasheeda was ever truly Yandy's friend? Or was it just for clout and camera time? Is Yandy being smart by remaining silent? Or should she clap? Chair throw and Kendra sis. Why are you inserting yourself when your man is out there, spreading himself thinner than a dollar store wig cap? Let's face it, this friendship was held together by lace, glue, and delusion, and now the lace is lifting. I know you all have opinions, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below.